Yo, what's up, PC fan? Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. This is Saturday, May 3rd, and of course, we are happy to see y'all. Chill, I know it's the playoffs and everything's going on. It's a great playoffs at that. I mean, we're getting some really good basketball. But, Chill, I want to talk about somebody that's not in the playoffs right now, a legend in the game, somebody that we have discussed all the time because his fingerprints on the game of basketball over the past 30 years is undeniable. So I want to talk about Gregg Popovich and him announcing that he's leaving the sideline. I guess he is going to take some type of front office position. I'm not sure, but I just want to talk to you about, or actually ask you to talk to the people about how you view Gregg Popovich. Just his impact, the type of coach he is, and what does this mean for the Spurs organization? What does this mean for basketball?
Well, I think a lot of us, when we watch pro basketball, we think it's just the pros on the court in terms of the players, and we don't realize how important coaching is. A lot of times you talk to me about how coaches have to coach, and Gregg Popovich is the epitome of that, right? This is the same guy who got the job with the San Antonio Spurs in the mid-90s, and he was on the hot seat. He was not exactly their choice in terms of their guy moving forward. It wasn't working early on, and this was during the lockout season when they won the NBA championship. Maybe we should go with a different coach. This might not be the guy. But the thing that I appreciate about Gregg Popovich more than anything was Gregg Popovich's accountability, right? In order to be great, you have to want to be great. And Gregg Popovich made sure that he brought in guys who understood what it took to be great. And it wasn't, okay, I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear. No, I got to tell you what you need to hear. That's in order for you to be great. He's the all-time winningest coach in NBA history for a reason. And the Gregg Popovich tree is one that can't be denied. I mean, he's got two coaches in the Western Conference Finals right now that were coached, that both played and coached under him. And that's both Steve Kerr and Ime Udoka. Both of those guys played for him and coached with him. Don't forget, he's also got an NBA champion and Coach Bud in Milwaukee. He also coached under Gregg Popovich. I mean, Gregg Popovich has a coaching tree that's undeniable. And when you have a coach that's necessary, right?
Chill, real quick, Chill. Also, he's even he's also touching the WNBA too when you think about Becky Hammond.
I was actually going to get to Becky Hammond. Absolutely, because what he also is he's a pioneer also. But like I was saying, when you have a coach that touches people's lives like this, and I don't just mean from basketball. There's very little people that I've heard that had anything bad to say about Pop. And what I think about when I think about you as a coach, I think about you like, how do you affect the game? How do you affect these guys as players? Well, one of the things that Gregg Popovich always did, he always held guys accountable. He always made guys move the basketball. In order for us to win, we have to do it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. We're going to do it. And when you aren't doing it, why aren't you doing it? And he held himself accountable too. There was plenty of games where he said, I got to do a better job in coaching. It was never the players have to do this, the players have to do that. Before it was, I have to do my job first. And, to have a coaching career for over 30 years in the NBA with one organization, that's a pretty big deal. And kudos to Pop for being that innovator, the guy who moves the basketball, the guy who holds guys accountable. And when I say an innovator, I mean in a time when it's really not that cool to listen. We live in a very selfish society, Ox, and that's not what Gregg Popovich, that's not what he was about. He was very much about the team. And the fact that he's moving into the front office, Ox, I'm 75, 76 years old. I've been doing this for 30 years. It's okay to step off. No doubt. It's okay to step off and move on to something else. That's fine. So kudos to Gregg Popovich. He's a big-time coach, 5 NBA championships, 20 straight seasons in the playoffs, 20 straight seasons in the playoffs. I mean, that the innovator of load management, like a lot of people don't want to talk about that, but Gregg Popovich did start that. But he did it for a reason, and it worked. So kudos to Gregg Popovich for everything that he did, man. And and the fact that he was able to keep going. Like a lot of people don't talk about this, and I think I had mentioned it to you before, Ox. You know, his wife died in the middle of the season, and this is a woman that he had been with forever. Like a lot of, and you can tell the effect that she had on the rest of the crew, because you've seen guys in the league that were really hurt about this because of what type of dude Pop is and what type of family structure he has. So, I mean, Pop definitely left his footprints on the game as a coach, and I think he'll continue to do that as a front office guy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you say a lot about there's a whole generation of kids that don't know the finals and things like that without LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know the playoffs, or basketball without Gregg Popovich, without the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, I hold the Spurs dynasty up there. Like that's a top 3, maybe to me, I think it's the number 1, you know what I mean? Just from the whole run from 99 on. And I know, they didn't repeat or this and that. To me, it's just like they were dominant though.
Yes.
And obviously a lot of that comes from Gregg Popovich. Now, to be a great coach needs great players to be legendary. And Gregg Popovich was both a great coach and got great players and got his great players to play great basketball. I also feel like it's, I think it's pretty cool that he's going to stay around and, help out in whatever capacity he does help out in. But I just want to say he doesn't owe the game of basketball or anything else. He has nothing to prove. You know what I mean? Nothing. So if Gregg Popovich decided, I'm just going to go kick it on the ranch and, hang out and just watch ball from afar or do whatever he wants to do.
Absolutely.
Man, we couldn't. I don't think anybody could say anything about it. It'd just be farewell, Pop. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? The only thing we could say to Gregg Popovich is thank you, if as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. And to your point, like a lot of people, talk about the great players that Gregg Popovich has had. I don't think we give Pop enough credit for developing these guys into the great players that they were. Like, for example, nobody knew who Tony Parker was in 2001. Nobody knew who Manu Ginobili was in 2003. Nobody was really paying much attention to Steven Jackson. I mean, I knew who Malik Rose was because Malik Rose was in school the same time I was in school. He led the country in rebounding. And Gregg Popovich knew who he was. That's why he got picked so late, because Gregg Popovich knew who he was. But let's remember the teams that Gregg Popovich had that he developed into championship teams. So, for example, that 99 NBA champion Spurs team. Ox, remember, Avery Johnson, this is his starting point guard. Just so you know, Ox, that was his 6th team in 8 years. It's a journeyman, right? Don't forget that he's got Mario Ellie. That was his 5th team in 7 years, right? He's winning the NBA championship. People just see Tim Duncan and they see David Robinson, who hurt his back at that point, and Sean Elliott. But don't forget, he's got Jerome Kersey, who's a journeyman, right? He's got Avery Johnson, who's also a journeyman. He's got Mario Ellie, a journeyman. And he's developing these guys and having these guys buy into, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't hurt to have Tim Duncan. It doesn't hurt to have Sean Elliott. It doesn't hurt to have these guys. But when you get these other guys to buy into what you're doing and to give them a chance and to have confidence in them, I mean, it goes a long way, which would explain why they won the NBA championship. And then when you fast forward to 2003, when he's got Kevin Willis on his roster and Steve Kerr on his roster, right? And we don't know who Manu Ginobili is. We don't know what Tony Parker is going to turn into. We don't know about Steven Jackson yet. We do know who Tim Duncan is at this point, right? We do know who Tim Duncan is at this point. David Robinson is on his last leg. He's retiring at the end of that season. These are the guys that he's winning the NBA championship with. So, I mean, I think that it goes a long way talking about what Gregg Popovich did in terms of developing this crew, getting these guys to buy into what they were doing. And it worked. I mean, Jaren Jackson is on that. Jaren Jackson Jr., who plays for Memphis, just so you guys know, his father was on that 99 team. He was a rotation guy. Yeah, his father was on it. This is who Gregg Popovich is winning with. Mario Ellie and Avery Johnson and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jerome Kersey. These are the guys that he's winning with, right?
Which one of those seasons was it? Which one of those seasons was it when Sean Elliott had the kidney transplant and came back? Was that 03 or 99?
No, it wasn't 99 because they won it in 99. I want to say it was 2000. I want to say 2000 or 2001. One of those two seasons where that happened. Yes. And this is what Gregg Popovich has done. This is what Gregg Popovich has done with this crew. So, I mean, I gotta give kudos to to what Gregg Popovich has done as a coach. He's been fantastic. Been
Right.
fantastic.
From this point on, and I know we've actually had some pretty big discussions about the Spurs this week. You know, obviously they have Wemby, and you know they're looking to have 2 lottery picks this year. They just got De'Aaron Fox, and they already got a nice little core of young players with Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, those guys. Where do you see the Spurs going from here? Do you see the Spurs going on another 10-year run of just straight playoff appearances, some deep runs, maybe grab a championship or two?
Well, it's going to depend on the health of Wemby more than anything. And if Wemby can hold up the way I hope he can, yes, I do see this team moving forward and getting back into the competitive days where they were winning 50 games and they were in the playoffs every year, because you have the dynamic of what's necessary to win. You got a big guy who's versatile, who will get on the glass, who will rebound, who will stretch the defense, the best rim protector in the game today. On top of that, you got a lead guard in De'Aaron Fox, who, in my estimation, when he's healthy, when he was playing at one point, I think he was a top 5 league guard in the game. So when you put those two guys together, I think that's a great pair to build around. And I don't think that there's anybody that's more equipped to do it than Coach Gregg Popovich. I mean, Gregg Popovich knows exactly how to put championship teams together. And he knows, like to my point, Ox, he knows how to integrate guys and to move the basketball. Ox, that 2014 NBA Finals, when they beat the Miami Heat, Ox, I was almost in tears watching that, how beautiful that basketball was.
Right.
Man, I'm like, if you want to learn, if you want to know how to play basketball, watch this right here. This is how you play basketball. This right here. So if you're able to do that, I mean, it's a recipe for success. A recipe. So I'm good.
Right. Okay. Well, shout out to Gregg Popovich, y'all. We just wanted to make sure that we showed Pop some love. You know, especially with the news of him stepping away from the sideline. Yeah, man. Shout out to Pop.
Absolutely.
But you know, chill. I want to talk about last night. I want to talk about that Rockets Warriors game.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, chill. Did Steve Kerr get out coached yesterday, or was that just a younger, more hungrier team taking care of business to stay alive?
I think it's a combination of both, Ox. I think that Steve Kerr was trying to match wits with Coach Udoka last night, and it kind of backfired on him because Draymond, being Draymond, kind of threw a monkey wrench in it when he got into the foul trouble that he got into early. And when we were in game, I want to say game 4. Yeah, I want to say game 4. When we were in game 4, I mean, this was a coaching battle that I hadn't seen in a long time, with both Coach Udoka, when him throwing bigger lineups out there, and then Coach Steve Kerr countering with smaller athletic lineups and trying to speed the game up. Well, he tried to do the same thing last night, and it didn't work off the strength that Houston was getting the ball to the basket a lot more. Well, when you get the ball to the basket a lot more, now those rebounds are more condensed, as opposed to when you're shooting the long ball and you got longer rebounds. Well, when you get to the basket more, those rebounds are more condensed. When we're bigger, we have a better opportunity to rebound. And I think that's exactly what Coach Udoka was trying to tell his crew. Listen, we got to get to the rim, and not only do we have to get to the rim, we got to get on the glass. And Steven Adams is made for that. I'll tell you what, Ox, I think it's interesting, and we're going to talk about Steven Adams. I'm one of those people who was advocating for you can't be one-dimensional in today's game, but Steven Adams showed that that's just not true. I mean, in a playoff series, you could have a guy who does some things that are necessary in order to win, and it'll work. And I think that with what Steve Kerr did in game 5, I'm sorry, is a cautionary tale to the rest of the NBA. You don't punt games, because you never know what's going to happen. You do not. I don't care. I don't care what avenue you're on. I don't care what space you're in. You do everything that you can to win at that particular time, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next game. Somebody could get hurt. You might have a bad shooting performance. Not only might you have a bad shooting performance, now you find yourself in a position where now you got to go on the road and win. Ox, I don't know if I told you this, but Steph Curry has played in 4 series where he was up 3-1. In 13 against Denver, in 2016 against the Cavs in the finals, 2017 against the Cavs in the finals again, and in 2022, right? So in those four series, he's averaging around 24 a game in the closeout. The problem is that he loses the initial game to close the series out. He'll win, but he loses the initial game to close it out. So he hasn't been lights out when he's up 3-1. So this is very dangerous where Steph Curry is in this particular situation. Very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, before I do that, let's stick with Steven Adams for a second, because you brought up Steven Adams, and somebody sent this through just a second ago. 1 second, it's not a super chat, but still, Gregory from Poland said that Rudy sent LA to Cancun. Adams are going to do the same to the Dubs. What does this mean, Rudy? Now, obviously, Rudy Gobert did not dominate that whole series. We're all very well aware of that. But that closeout game was a show of pure force and dominance. What Steven Adams has done, changing this series around with his rebounding ability, and then last night his ability to knock down free throws when they're trying to go to hack a Steve or whatever they're calling it, right?
Yeah.
I think he's put his fingerprints firmly on this series. I think between him and Fred VanVleet, and obviously the other guys, Tari Eason, Jabari came on his stretch. Even Jaylen Green's had some pretty good games, whatever, right? But Steven Adams is the difference maker in this series, yes, from my eyes. That's just what I'm seeing, y'all. Now, y'all could disagree, but that's what I'm seeing, right? What does that mean for the big man? The big man that the NBA and the NBA fans have been trying to get rid of for the past decade. They've been trying to get rid of the Steven Adams guys, the guys that aren't shooting long balls and getting the ball in transition and running up and down the court like Giannis, and the guys that are just that are brutes, big, the enforcer type guy, the Rudy Goberts, the guys that aren't supremely offensively gifted. They're trying to get rid of these dudes, chill. But you can see where Steven Adams and Rudy Gobert are making an impact. What does that mean for basketball? Don't forget Big Zoo. Thank you, Thank you, CJ. Don't forget Big Zoo. What does this mean for the big man? I mean, I'm seeing two big lineups. What's happening? This is mind blowing. What's going on, Chill?
Well, what happened was Steph Curry and company, they enhanced the game with the long ball, and the game got pushed away from the rim. And with the game getting pushed away from the rim, the big man got tricked into thinking that he had to play out there too, right? So instead of him going out to the long ball line, there were big men who said, "Okay, I am a big man, and I still have to do big man things." Right? I can't just stand out at the long ball line and stretch the defense. So we have Joker in the game. We still have Giannis in the game. We still have Joel Embiid, who was in the game, who was dominant. At Jaren Jackson Jr. for all in Evan Mobley. But the big fellas that they have today, and with the two big lineup with Al Horford, your man, who you still loving. I know how you feel about Al Horford, Ox, and KP. The big man is alive and well. All he's just done is he's just gotten reprogrammed. He's still here, but the dirty work guy has always been necessary. And he's been necessary because when you have games like with the Golden State Warriors in Houston yesterday, when you have games like where points are at a premium, we need second chance opportunities. If we don't have those, we're going to find ourselves in a space where we're not going to be able to compete. And Steven Adams provides that. Steven Adams provides that rebounding. Steven Adams provides that toughness. We're going to get second chance opportunities to score. Now, we can't solely rely on that, but the fact that we're able to get that makes us so much better. And a guy like Steven Adams, he's so much better at just everybody in this series at doing that. On top of that, let's not leave out the fact, because we're talking about him on the offensive glass, because I think he's been like a plus 20 or something like that, Ox. But let's talk about him on the defensive glass too. We're holding the Golden State Warriors to one shot and holding and their second chance opportunities. That's a huge deal. And on top of that, him rim protecting. I watched him smack Jimmy Butler's shot in the second row twice this series. Not once, twice this series. I've watched him smack Jimmy Butler's shot in the second row. And he's doing that while and when he's doing that, he's energizing his unit. Well, while energizing his unit, that now gives guys like Jabari Smith, that gives guys like Tari, that gives these guys more energy to also rebound. Ox, I've said this to you countless times. I don't care how well you shoot the long ball. I'm all for being super nice with the peel. I'm all for all of that stuff. I can tell you what, though, you ain't winning without dudes like Udonis Haslem and Horace Grant and Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley. You're not winning with guys. You're not winning without guys like Steven Adams. You're not, because we need them to do the stuff that other people are not doing. We talked about Gregg Popovich, right? We talked about Gregg Popovich in terms of the coach that he is. Phil Jackson has a quote. Phil Jackson has a quote that says, "There's piano players and there's piano movers." Well, this piano player, it doesn't make a difference how good you are if this piano can't get upstairs. And we need these piano movers to get this thing upstairs. Otherwise, this thing isn't going to work. So we need guys like Steven Adams, who's been great on the glass. I can't reiterate this. I can't reiterate this enough when I talk about how much of a difference second chance opportunities are. And Coach Udoka coaching those guys up, saying, get to the glass more. I mean, get to the rim more, because these guys are small and they can't keep you off the offensive glass. I can't reiterate that enough, because when you have that, I think that's a recipe for success. So now we have ourselves a game 7.
Well, I just want to throw some numbers to it, right? In this series, when Steven Adams is on the court, the Rockets are plus 53. Is that accurate?
You know what that means? We need,
because it says without Rockets without Steven Adams on the court are minus 39.
Sounds like we need the big fella, Ox. That's what that sound like. That sound to me like we need him. I don't know what else we need, but I know one thing we need for a fact. We need him. We need this dude. So we'll figure out the rest of the stuff. We'll figure out what we're doing with Jaylen Green. We'll figure out what we're doing with Jabari, as an offensive player, as a defensive player. We'll figure out what we're doing with Van Fleet, how to continue to get him in the offense and get him good shots. But the one thing that we need for a fact, we need him. He got to play. He has to play.
Definitely. Now, see, with things like that too, it's like what you're doing already, Coach Udoka, is working, right? It's working with Steven Adams playing. What I don't want to see, and mind you, what I do and don't want to see means nothing in Coach Udoka's schemes, right? But what I'm saying is, what I don't like is when a coach has something working. It's like, okay, this guy is playing really good. He's doing this thing like Steven Adams is. Now, let's not switch it up. Let's not be, okay, Steve, now you're starting. You're going to play 38 minutes, let's not go overboard with it. You know what I'm saying? Let him play his role and do what he does. But speaking of that, though, I think Steven Adams is kind of taking on another role too, which we've seen him protect his teammates before. We've seen him pick the one guy. Who was he picked up? That was him and Ja. Him and Ja was going back and forth.
He's playing against the Bulls. Yeah, playing against the Bulls.
Yeah. So Steven Adams, he's used to taking up for his teammates. In the post game last night, he also took up for his teammates. And I believe he was talking about Jaylen Green. I think it was alluding to Jaylen Green, but he says, if you blitz someone all game, obviously their points are going to go down. You don't judge them and say they're not a playoff riser. You're enough of a threat that the defense is taking you away.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that? Because I mean, obviously Jaylen Green has been he gets a lot of heat, And last night he didn't have the best game. I mean, it wasn't efficient or accurate or whatever, but he was being aggressive, and I liked it. Well, how do you feel about Steven Adams saying what he said?
Well, I think it's important that your teammates have your back, and to know that even though I'm not shooting it particularly well, just keep shooting, keep doing your thing, because one of the main reasons why we're here is because of you. Now, there's people who may say that you're garbage or you're not playing particularly well and you're killing us. No. One of the main reasons why we're here is because of you. So keep doing what you're doing. I think Steve Kerr's game plan, when you're dealing with Jaylen Green, it does make sense, because again, this is his first time in the playoffs. It's his first time in the playoffs. With it being his first time in the playoffs, he's seen blitzes before. Okay, I can get with that logic. Yes, he has seen blitzes before. However, to this magnitude, not only to this magnitude, under this kind of pressure when we're in the playoffs, it's way different in January, seeing this kind of blitz, seeing this kind of action, as opposed to when we're in the playoffs and it's against the Golden State Warriors and it's to move on. I still think that Jaylen Green is trying to figure out how to read defenses. I still think that he's trying to figure out what exactly makes him tick in terms of a player. But I dig the fact that Steven Adams has come to his rescue to say that, listen, he's still our guy. And if you're getting blitzed every play, it's going to take a toll on your game, especially a young player like Jaylen Green. But hang in there, and we're with you. And I think that I 100% think that works with him. Now, what are we doing moving forward in Game 7? Okay, we already know what it is, Ox. I think the game plans go out the window at that point. I mean, I don't think that we're in a space in Game 7 where, you know, there's different schemes that we're gonna administer. There's different things that we're gonna do. I mean, you know us, we know you, so we know what you're running. You know what we're running at that point. But the thing that I dig about Steven Adams is how professional he is. So, for example, Ox, you just brought up the situation with the Bulls. Him picking up that player is very much like, instead of me getting in your face, him picking him up is silently saying, please don't make me do this. Let's not do this, because this will be really bad for you if I do this. I can promise you that. On top of that, him hugging Jimmy Butler, that's just in the spirit of competition. That's all that is. Right. That's in the spirit of competition, and that's me respecting you as an opponent. That has nothing to do with him being soft. That has nothing to do with him trying to cower to Jimmy Butler. Listen, man, we out here competing. That's what we're doing, right? And with us doing that, I'm still gonna be as professional as possible, and I want to keep it basketball, right? I 100% want to keep it basketball, and I love Steven Adams for that. I mean, Steven Adams he's the ultimate pro. And don't forget, Ox, I got 18 brothers and sisters, so I know what it's like to get pushed around, and I know what it's like not to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that from Steve. I like that from Steven Adams too. I mean, that's just, you know, back when I was hooping, I was always that player too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't touch him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Like we playing ball. Leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep playing basketball. You know what I mean?
Get your man. So, don't worry about my dude. I'll deal with my dude. Get your man.
Right. Yeah, just keep your hands off of him. My point guard specifically, don't touch him. You know what I mean? But everybody else, but don't touch him though. You know, and so I've always been a big fan of Steven Adams. I find myself being fans of players because I just like certain basketball. You don't have to be a superstar for me to be a fan of your basketball. You know what I mean? And Steven Adams is one of those dudes. I got big love for Steven. I'm happy that he came to Jaylen Green's defense yesterday. Chill. I want to add
really quickly, Ox. A lot of people they get wrapped up in the superstar. They get, because I'm a fan of the uber athletic wing, because I played on the wing. I played the two, so I'm a fan of that guy. But I love the dirty work guy, Ox. I don't like that dude. I love Horace Grant, right? I love Udonis Haslem. I love AC Green, because he's the guy. He's Steven Adams is the dude in the huddle saying, "I'll get the rest of the rebounds. Don't you? You score the points. I'll get the rest of the rebounds." And we need that dude. We're not winning without him. He's the one looking at he's Bruce Bowen, right? He's Ron Artest in the huddle going, "Can you score the rest of the points?" All right, I can score the rest of the points. Okay, I'll deal with 22. You just score the rest of the points. We need that dude, and that's who Steven Adams is.
Chill. If you know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, Chill. And just because, like how you said, you were a wing, you athletic wing, run the court, do all that. You kind of tend to like that type of player. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if Draymond Green wasn't such an asshole and didn't do so much little dirty stuff, he would be my favorite player in the NBA, hands down.
He is so necessary.
I'm talking about hands down. Draymond Green.
So necessary.
I love Draymond Green. I want y'all to understand this. I really love Draymond. I really do. But it's just like, God damn, Draymond, you make it so hard, bro. What is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
So necessary. And I don't think he recognizes how necessary he is. That's the problem, Ox. Like I think he knows that he's important, but I don't think he recognizes how important, how necessary. Like Draymond, we're not winning without you, yo. Do you understand that? The stuff that you do, and I ain't talking about the antics, because some of it is necessary, because you can talk a guy out of his game. You can recognize that a guy might be a little soft, and you might be able to get him off his game. Okay, I get that part. But the other stuff that Draymond does as a ball handler, as a defender, as a quarterback of the defense, how he shoots gaps, right? How he talks to everybody, getting everybody in spaces where they need to be. Momentum plays where guys run over him and he gets charges. We don't need that. We're not winning without that. And Draymond is so necessary for what we're doing, just on the offensive and defensive end of the floor, that he can't see that. And it throws a monkey wrench in our crew. Do you remember when Steph Curry was on the bench, Ox? And he was in tears. He was in tears. I believe it was last season. He was in tears because of Draymond. Like, come on, man, you killing us. You are killing us. It's you who needs to be more in control of who you are. And Coach K had a great quote. He talked about Christian Laettner, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You can be the fire that heats the building, or you could be the fire that burns the building down." Draymond burns the building down more than he heats the building, and he doesn't recognize that. He doesn't. And to your point, Ox, if he wasn't what he was, oh man, I love Draymond's game. I do. I just can't stand the other stuff that comes. I don't think he recognizes how necessary he really is. I don't.
And chill. With that being said, we're talking about Draymond, talking about the bigs of the Warriors. I want to ask you again another Steve Kerr question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Steve Kerr gonna play Kevon Looney when he's getting severely out rebounded? And you know, even if you don't want to go with Kevon Looney, I want to ask you about another guy, another big wing, a guy that we've talked about, Jonathan Kuminga. Now, I understand Jonathan Kuminga might not have the highest basketball IQ. I understand he doesn't always do the right thing. Guys, I see that. I know that. So y'all give me some grace. But what I'm saying is, if you're getting that rebounder like this, don't you think maybe you would try to just put the young fella in for a second? Like, yo, you're in here to go help Draymond, go rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. I mean, it's not like Buddy Hield was doing anything on the offensive end anyway. So it's like, Buddy, you can come sit down. You know what I mean? Houston got a bunch of young athletic dudes. You know what I'm saying?
They do. Yes,
why not try? And I see y'all in the chat saying that's not the answer. Once again, I don't coach in the NBA. I don't have the answers, but I can see when something's not working. I can see when, hey, yo, maybe we should try this. I know this guy hasn't necessarily came through for us as much as we thought he would when we drafted him, but you can't just watch your team drown. Like, that's one thing you can't do. You cannot just watch these dudes drown out here. Draymond is out there with Sengun and Steven Adams. And I'm talking about when Quentin Post wasn't even in the game. It's Draymond who is my size and a little actually smaller than me. And these huge. I mean, Steven Adams is huge.
He clearly
needs
can't
help.
deal with him by himself. He clearly can't. He cannot deal with Steven Adams by himself. And it's ironic, Ox, considering you just brought up Steve Kerr with Gregg Popovich and Phil Jackson. I remember those Bulls teams. So from 1990, the 90-91 season to the 92-93 season, those 3 years, Phil Jackson on those championship teams, he had 10 guys. He kept 10 guys in his rotation. This is the same Gregg Popovich who completely dug in his bench, and he would play 9-10 guys. And Steve Kerr, who said to us before the season started, Ox, what did he tell us? This was what kind of team that he had?
The deepest team he's ever had.
He said this is the deepest group that he's ever had. So it sounds to me, in the words of the great Marlo Stansfield, this is one of those good problems. So if it's one of those good problems, maybe you should use it. I got to find run for Jonathan Kuminga. There's got to be some minutes for him to do something, whether it's get out in transition, whether it's stay in front of a guy. Because if Obi Toppin can play in the playoffs, Jonathan Kuminga can play in the playoffs too. You can't sell me that. There's no way. Not 30 minutes. I'm not saying it. I've seen since I've said Jonathan Kuminga's name and Kevon Looney, I've seen guys talk about the reasons why. Oh, well, he's not effective here. He doesn't do this. I'm not talking about all that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we need somebody to secure the basketball. I've said for years, ever since I've been on this platform, I believe that rebounding is the most important part of basketball. I believe that you have to rebound the basketball. So if a guy isn't super effective in offense or whatever reasons you guys say he's not effective, that stuff don't matter if you can't secure the ball. It doesn't matter who's effective over here and effective over there if we can't get the rebound. You know what I'm saying? Okay, there's a guy right there from Bulls Podcast, Trace Jackson Davis. Why not let him get a couple minutes? Let's just see about securing the ball. Now, I'm not trying to tell Steve Kerr how to do his job. Obviously, he has the job for a reason. Sure.
But I'm just saying, I think Steve might have dropped the ball a little bit last night. I saw a point right there when there was about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. I'm like, okay, Steve, maybe let Kevon Looney rock a little bit.
Right.
He chose not to do that. I'm just curious to you two. Is there any adjustments that you expect from Steve Kerr after seeing last night's game, or do you think he's just going to stick with his guns? Is Steve Kerr a little stubborn?
He is. On some level he is. I won't argue that point, but he's got what we saw it in Game 5 when he punted Game 5. We saw what those rotation guys look like. There's no reason to not play them more. Those are the guys who got. I mean, don't forget when Steve Kerr punted that game and he put his rotation guys in, and they were down as many as 27 at one point. Coach Udoka kept his starters in, and they ended up cutting the lead, which tells me that, these guys are viable. I actually thought it was a good thing that Steve Kerr didn't put his starters back in, because I'm thinking now he's going to have more confidence in these guys moving forward. Well, if you got a front line players like Jackson Davis, if you got frontline players like Kevon Looney, well, I'm not saying that Kevon Looney is going to deal with Steven Adams one-on-one. No, you're out there to help Draymond. Draymond is going to help you. Jackson Davis is going to help you guys, because that's what Jabari Smith is doing with Steven Adams. Because Steven Adams, just so we clear, he's not getting all the rebounds. Just so you guys know,
right?
Sengun had 15 rebounds yesterday. Just so you guys know, Sengun had 15 rebounds yesterday. Let's make sure that we clear on that part. So I can counter that by saying that get Jackson Davis on the floor and allow him to help Draymond. Get Kevin Looney. This is the same Kevin Looney who, Ox is having nightmares about him, because we was calling him Kevin Olajuwon, because he was 20 rebounds against that Sacramento team with Sabonis on the front line. So he was doing that kind of stuff. So when you get into the playoffs, what are the things that help? What are the things that are necessary for winning? And I don't just mean in the regular season. I'm talking about in the playoffs in particular. What's necessary? You got to take care of the basketball. You got to make free throws. You got to rebound, and you got to get good shots. If I have these things available to me, I have to use them, Ox. I got to use Kevon Looney. I have to use Jackson, especially if I'm getting my ass kicked on the glass. I have to use these guys. I have to. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick though, we do got some super chats and some member chats. We got a member chat from SGA Sports Talk channel. He says, "I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel."
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you, brother.
No doubt, appreciate it.
No doubt. Mm-hmm.
Cowboy Bob says 3 bigs and 2 small Kings formation worked for Houston. I hit my parlay. I want Clippers and Rockets to advance. Knicks winning game 1. Go New York, go.
We'll see. We'll find out about your boys. We're actually going to talk about that in a little bit too. But we'll see about that. Mm-hmm.
Ike G504 says, if the T-Wolves and OKC meet, who y'all got and why?
Before the season started, I had Minnesota in the NBA Finals, and I had to come off that because they weren't up to snuff. And I ended up picking Oklahoma City off the strength of how good they were in their perimeter offense and their perimeter defense. But I'm looking at this Oklahoma City team. I'm looking at this Minnesota team. I think that this matchup is going to be closer than I think. And Shea hasn't been particularly great in that first series, and I just think it's going to get even tougher as time goes on, and dealing with that Minnesota, that rotation, and dealing with Jaden McDaniels, dealing with DiVincenzo. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are going to shut him down. No, I'm not saying that at all, because it's almost impossible to shut that guy down. But what I'm saying is that with what Minnesota has on the offensive, with what Minnesota has on the defensive end of the floor, on the perimeter, it's damn good. But to counter that, what Oklahoma City has, they got 6 guys on the perimeter that could completely stifle you. And I'm not sure that Minnesota has enough offense to contend with Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. I think Oklahoma City beats them in 6 games.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think this round 2 is going to be a lot easier for Minnesota than it is for OKC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless if OKC plays the Clippers or the Nuggets. So let's assume that both teams win the second series either way. I think the Timberwolves are going to have a much easier time with either the Rockets or the Warriors than OKC is. And so I think that might be the difference maker. But I got Minnesota anyway. I don't think them dudes got nothing for Ant. So I'm going.
Ant is just so polarizing, Ox, and he makes you want to watch. Right? Not only does he make you want to watch, he gives you this confidence that we could do it. Just him alone. He gives you that confidence that, yo, just roll with me. I got it. I got us. We'll do it.
Dede says, as a diehard Warrior fan, Draymond needs therapy, dog.
Hey, Dede, you know that raging alcoholic who in the house, like all the bills are paid, right? Not only are all the bills paid, there's food in the refrigerator, the car's got gas in it, right? You got money in your pocket. But every once in a while you come home and it's a big ass hole in the wall, right? Every time there's times when you come home and the dishes are all over the floor and they're broken. And we don't see this dude for like 2 or 3 days. That's who Draymond is. He's the functioning alcoholic in the house where like stuff around here works and, you know, we living good, but we got to put up with that nonsense. We got to put up with that nonsense. Now, here's the problem though, Ox. The problem is when it becomes where, you know, now, you know, the house is in foreclosure because this dude is now, you know, he done got sent home from work like 3 or 4 times because he can't hold it together, right? The car payment is now we have to do something about this. That's who Draymond is. Draymond is that guy that's when it's going good, we'll tolerate it. We'll put up with it until it's not. And I feel like he had a lot to do with that loss yesterday, both on the court as a player and his antics. He had a lot to do with that loss.
Yeah. Draymond got to get it together, man.
Just so you know, my boy Ox think that Draymond should be in the penitentiary. He is a nutcase.
Man, I've seen this dude. It's like they got it on camera. Why are they not filing charges? He has attempted to murder people with 20,000 people in the stands, in another couple million watching, and he's not locked up. It's crazy, but
he literally smacked dude in the back of the head yesterday. He literally smacked Jaylen Green in the back of the head. He literally just and when he tried to justify it with Ox, he tried to justify it with a swing through. That's not a swing through, Draymond. What do you think I am? You think I'm dumb? Come on, man. In the words of the words of the great Odell Roby, my ass might be dumb, but I ain't no dumb ass. Come on, man.
But he did it in the first 3 minutes of the game. It's like the game just started, bro. What you on, bro? Relax.
Swing through. Yeah, you swung through. All right.
Golly. Tupac Westside says, even with the Lakers being eliminated, I haven't been excited about the playoffs in years. Tupac Westside said, haven't been this excited for the playoffs I'm in. This
has been great. Even though we've had sweeps, I mean, we don't have one, Tupac, right? We ain't got one, Pop. We got 2 game 7s, 2 of them. Mm-hmm. How awesome is this, man? I mean, this is theater for your ass right here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real quick, y'all. Before we get into you know, we're going to talk about the upcoming matchups that we have already. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about game 7 tonight, also. But before we do that, I want to just get into the lobby real quick. We have a Hall of Famer here with us, y'all. I'm going to bring him up first, and let's see what he got to say. Multi Kenny is in the building with us today, y'all.
What up,
yo?
What's good, yo?
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. You know, I'm gonna make it quick because I got things I gotta do later today. But
yep.
I just missed the playback last night. I tried to join up at the last second, but it was closing things down. I just want y'all to know, y'all better hold Swiper accountable for all the mess he was talking on Friday. Everything when he was saying like, oh, I hope Houston goes down. I hope Houston gets taken out. All that mess he was talking simply because y'all were holding Jokic accountable and calling out his hypocrisy. Y'all better hold him accountable on Monday, especially if Denver gets sent home.
Did you see me and Swiper get into it yesterday? It was like for like 10 minutes. Me and Swiper went at it.
Oh yeah, and I was watching that whole thing and I was just listening to it and I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
like,
me and Swiper got into it for 10 minutes, and Swiper's stance was based solely on me saying that Jason Tatum wasn't close to him early on. Well, we got new information now. Like and when you have new information, opinions change. That's the way that works. That's just the way it works. We got new information now. So because we got new information, that's it. We got new information now. So there we have it. That's it. So now we hold just like they hold my feet to the fire, just like they hold Ox's feet to the fire, nobody's exempt from this, brother. Nobody.
Absolutely. That's all I wanted to come say, because I wanted to say that at the end of the playback, but I didn't get a chance to get on stage. But just make sure y'all hold him accountable. But all right, y'all have a good morning.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Yeah, of course. I mean, well, you know what? Swiper just got brought up. I know we got a couple more people in the lobby. I'm gonna get to y'all. Don't trip. Don't go nowhere. Relax for a second. What's happening tonight, Chill? What's going on? I mean, we got Game 7 in the Mile High.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, when you're dealing with teams that have very different styles, the Denver Nuggets have a style that their offenses ran through their big man, and their primary ball handler is one of the best tough shot makers, and he consistently keeps you on your heels. I mean, that's a recipe for success, especially when you have the necessary tools like Aaron Gordon, like Christian Brown, right? Especially when you have MPJ, who wasn't very good throughout the course of the series, but he has been able to knock shots down and keep defenses respectable, right? So when you have that and you get that countered with how good James Harden is at still getting downhill, right? Still getting downhill today. Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't do anything extra, but is ridiculously effective at what he does. And I have to say that Zubac has given Joker all that he can handle throughout the course of the series. Everything. I haven't seen Joker this tested and this challenged in a long time. And that includes when Rudy went up against him. That includes when Rudy went up against him. That includes when Anthony Davis went up. I haven't seen a one-on-one matchup where he's been this tested. And that includes last year when he played against Minnesota. He wasn't tested like this one-on-one, he wasn't tested like this in the past like he is today. And just from an offensive standpoint, I feel like Zubac is giving you everything that you're looking for around the rim as a finisher, as an offensive glass cleaner. I think he puts so much pressure on Joker. I just feel like in this Game 7, I think Denver outlasts them. I had Denver picked in 6, and I thought that they were going to end it in 6. They had an opportunity to end it in 6, but this thing has been pushed to 7. I think Denver ends it tonight. I think they ended off the strength of I was about to say Draymond. I'm sorry, of Jamal Murray having one of his better games. I don't think I need a 40 ball from him. No, I'm not saying that. I don't think I need 35 or anything like that. I need a solid 22 to 25 on really good efficiency from him. I think that I'm going to get a really good Joker game, and I think I'm going to get a better Russ. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game tonight. Yes, I think the Nuggets end this thing tonight in their building.
Yeah, I could see that too, and I like how they're letting Zubac guard Jokic. I mean, there's been games where they kind of they do send the blitz, send the double to Jokic and make him get off the ball, especially like earlier in the series. I seen where they were doing that a lot. I see more too where they're letting Zubac play one-on-one, defense with Jokic and whatnot. I'm gonna tell you right now, Chill. Not tonight.
So
I don't know what Ty Lue's gonna do, but not tonight, Chill.
So what you're saying, Ox, is you didn't just pack for the night. Like, you packed for a couple of days. Like, from here, we're going straight. We jumping on the bird tonight, right after the game, and we're going to Oklahoma City. Oh.
Yes, sir. We cannot let Jokic have one of them ones tonight. No, sir. I'm talking about send the cavalry, Chill. When Jokic got the ball, send the cavalry. Make Jamal do it again. Do it again, Jamal. Do it again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. We're gonna rotate fast. As soon as that ball's in the air, Chris, Nick, whoever's out there, get to Jamal fast. Don't get me wrong, because he will put it on you. But not tonight, Yoke. No, big fella. Not tonight. Because he can do it, Chill.
You being a big fella, you can appreciate this matchup because what it's allowed both Joker and Zubac to do is be big guys. Like, we don't have to be soft. We can play like big guys. Guys, this is why I love the big man. This is exactly why I love the big man, because, like, big guys on the box, big guys in the paint, big guys in the in that area, they're not, just nudging. No, big guys play big. That's what big guys do. Big guys throw bowls. Big guys push. Big guys use their hands. And it ain't dirty. It's not malicious. It's just basketball. And when you're allowed to do that, then you get to see the best of the big man. That's why we're seeing the best of Zubac. That's why we're seeing Joker have such a difficult time. But we're also seeing the best of Joker too. So I love the fact that the officials are allowing these guys to play like big guys. I love that, Ox.
Chill. I already know the chat's not gonna like this, but I'm talking about in the middle of the first quarter, early in the second quarter. I'm talking about we're gonna see some Zubac and Ben Simmons minutes together. Like, no, Jokic, you get nothing tonight. I mean,
we got to
make it clear.
I can see that. Yeah, I can
make
see
it
that.
clear. Like, Jokic, you get absolutely nothing.
Somebody else got to do it.
Because
not you.
That dude, I don't care what we've seen. I mean, Jokic is him. Like, Jokic is one of them. He's a killer, and we can't let him get comfortable in Game 7. I don't care what happened last year. I don't care about the fact that they crumbled against the Timberwolves. That means nothing tonight. Like, Jokic will put it on you, and we've seen that. Don't let him get comfortable tonight. Don't let him get to spinning around, throwing these up, and doing whatever he wants to do. No, he can't have it. He can't have it. Chill, he can't.
Somebody else got it. It sounded to me, Ox, like you're looking at Joker going, somebody else got to do it. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be you. And if that means we got to surround you with 2 and 3 guys, we will. But one of these other dudes going to have to do it because we're not losing on you going 39, 22, and 8. No. That ain't happening.
But it's like, but with the same thing though, too, I'm looking for a scheme from Ty Lue that's aggressive to Jokic and quick rotations to Jamal. Like we're also not conceding to Jamal, but it's gonna have to be MPJ. It's gonna have to be Aaron Gordon corner threes. Sure. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to be that. It's gonna have to be Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook getting second chance opportunities, getting out and breaks, stuff like that. It just cannot be. It can't be a 40 ball from Jamal. It can't be a big triple double from Jokic. And I know that sounds like, how are you going to stop that? You know what I'm saying? But today, Ty Lue has to scheme something. He has to scheme something, and I don't know what it is. I don't coach in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But Ty Lue does.
And what I'm looking for, Ox, is I'm looking for to counter your double teams. I mean, that's playing right into my hands if I'm Joker as a distributor, as a playmaker. That's playing right into my hands. I'm not going to play as much on the box. I may play in the mid post a little bit more. In addition to me playing in the mid post a little bit more, now what I'm doing is I'm looking for screen action. I'm looking for flares, right? I'm looking for fades. I'm looking for curls to the basket. And that I think that's Joker's game. Joker wants to play off of these guys. And if you're going to double team me, I'm going to look for other guys. Here's the difference, though. The difference is, to your point about Ty Lue, now what you're doing is you're telling Adelman that you're going to have to coach your ass off tonight because I'm throwing a bunch of different looks at you. I'm throwing a bunch of different bodies at you. I'm going zone. Not only am I going zone, I'm going double big. I may even go triple big. I'm throwing a bunch of different things at you, and you're going to have to coach your ass off tonight in order to beat us.
Facts. So, chill. With that being said, because I'm thinking that already. You know Jokic is a hell of a passer, so you can't he can't catch the ball out on the wing and then you just go blitz him. Why? No. That's too basic. That's too elementary. I'm talking about when Jokic gets the ball and as soon as that ball hits the ground, as soon as he's going, boom, go. And I'm talking about whoever's strong side, whoever's guarding Aaron Gordon, if Russ is in the game or if Christian Brown's in the game, we're going that way. We're not doubling off Jamal. We're not doubling off of MPJ. We're doubling off of Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and Russell Westbrook. When that ball goes on the ground, whoever's closer, like if any of those two are in the game at the same time, whichever defender is closer on that strong side, whether it's whoever it is, I don't care who it is, go instantly as soon as that ball hits the ground. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. We're not just gonna just blatantly send a blitz there to one of the best passers we've seen ever. You know what I mean? No, we're gonna wait for the ball. As soon as that ball hits the ground, bam, reaching. I'm talking chill. We're reaching. You know what I'm saying? We're not just
we down there digging. No, 100%.
Go get that ball.
And what it sounds to me like. It sounds to me like you want to be as disruptive as possible on the regular. And to counter that point, that's why we have to be spread out, right? That's why we have to be spread out as an offense, because what we need, to Ox's point, when Joker puts that ball on the floor and he gets doubled, we need for these guys when they rotate, they got to cover a lot of space. Which means that Russell Westbrook, which means that Jamal Murray, which means that MPJ, when you guys are open, you got to make open shots because they're going to be open. Because when Joker puts the ball on the floor, When Joker puts the ball on the floor and that blitz comes, that means that he's getting rid of it quick. That means that rotation, wherever you rotated, that counter rotation has to be quick. You can't overrun plays. You can't overrun plays. You can't overshoot on your closeout, because if you're doing that, you put us in a real bind when you do that.
Yes.
I just feel like with what Joker does and how good he is at exactly the thing that you want to take him out of, I think that that's going to be the difference in this game tonight. And
right.
I think that the Clippers go home. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I believe the best team will win tonight. You know what I mean? Regardless of what it is, I think the best team will show who they are. And real quick, the last point I had about that defensive way, I'm thinking more than likely it's going to have to be James Harden to come and double.
Okay.
I want James Harden to be the one to come and double, because I don't want James Harden to fall asleep when he's supposed to be rotating. I don't want James Harden to get beat back door.
I was about to ask you that. Does it depend on who he's covering? Because I don't want James Harden doubling off for Jamal Murray. I don't want that.
Right.
No, I don't.
No, because there's been a lot where James Harden's guarding Aaron Gordon, and so if James Harden, specifically if you know do that with certain matchups, like if James Harden's guarding Aaron Gordon, then boom, James, you go. Because once again, I've seen James Harden get beat back door, kind of get caught watching or not rebounding. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, James, you go double. You know what I mean? But either way, chill. I think tonight's gonna be a good game. I know you said you got Denver. I don't know. I just want to watch a good basketball game, and I'm excited for it.
Too.
Yeah.
You're gonna see one.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a damn good game.
Y'all make sure y'all tap in tonight for that game. Game 7 is gonna be a big one. But moving on though, chill. We have a matchup out east. And that is the Knicks versus Celtics. I want to know, chill, how do you see that series going? Who wins and in how many?
So immediately when you look at the lineups and you look at the matchups, take that out of your head, Ox. What I mean when I say don't look at Porzingis covering Cat. Don't look at Josh Hart covering Jason Tatum. Don't look at Drew Holiday covering Jalen Brunson, because one, the Boston Celtics are such a heavy switch team. Don't look at Jaylen Brown primarily dealing with Bridges. Don't do that, because they're such a heavy switch team that this team can just cover anywhere and in any space. So don't look at it like that. What I want you to look at how the Boston Celtics mismatch hunt and who they particularly go after when they mismatch hunt. So with this Boston Celtic team, this is one of the main reasons why they're so good at mismatch hunting, because they're so good at screening that they force you to switch. So when I get Josh Hart switched on to Porzingis can take advantage of that matchup in the mid-range. He can take advantage of that matchup in the mid-post. When I get Jason Tatum switched on to Mikal Bridges, when we have a pick and roll or pick and dive situation, he can take advantage of that matchup. When I get Jason Tatum isolated against Mikal Bridges, he can take advantage of that matchup. When I get Cat in the pick and roll, I'm definitely taking advantage of that matchup, because Cat is not proficient in pick and roll and in pick and dive. We definitely want to attack him and attack him consistently. Very much like what you talked about, Ox, with Luka. Like, I hear a lot of people saying stuff about, Luka being the great offensive player he is. Do you think for 1 second that there aren't teams and players in the league that look at Luka during the game or even before the game going, yo, we going after him? As good as he is as an offensive player, there are players that look at Luka going, go after him. Do not let him off the hook. Well, they do the same thing with they do the same thing with other great offensive players. So the Boston Celtics are looking at Cat going, go after him. Do not let him off the hook. So I think that they're going to do everything they can to put and keep Cat in the action and consistently attack him. And I think that that's going to affect his offense. I think that the Celtics win this series in 5 games. Just off the strength that Jason Tatum has been so good against the Knicks, just attacking the rim, manufacturing good shots, the way that they mismatch hunt and the mismatches that he gets, which the specific one they get is him and Mikal Bridges. He goes after him on the regular. And the fact that Mikal Bridges has not been good this season at navigating through screens, and they're going to do everything that they can to keep OG Anunoby occupied and away from Jason Tatum, and have him have to deal with Jaylen Brown, have him have to deal with guys like Porzingis, even having to deal with guys like Al Horford. And then you got and then you got your rotation guys. I think that that's going to be the difference in this series, because I know Coach Tibbs is going to have 4 guys. He's got 9 guys. Those guys aren't going to play much. Meanwhile, over in Boston, he's got 9, 10 guys, and they're all going to play, and they're going to play significant minutes. And I think that they can wear down. I think they can wear down the Knicks. I think this series ends in 5. I'd be surprised if it went past 5 games.
Yeah, Tibbs just. I don't think Tibbs can get away with that against Boston. Now, and I'm not saying that he won't try to get away with it, but if he doesn't get into that bench a little bit, they're going to get beat down. I think they're going to get beat down because OG, Mikal, Josh Hart, them dudes are going to have to work so hard, and we'll see, man. We'll see. We do have game 1 of the Pacers Cavs series starting tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, it does start tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
I believe we talked about that. Just want to go over that, y'all. Y'all make sure to tap into that game until you have Cleveland. I think you said you had Cleveland in 5 or 6, right?
I got Cleveland in 5 games. Yes, I got
5,
Cleveland in 5 games. Yes. I just think that they overmatched. I think Indiana is overmatched on both the offensive and defensive end of the floor.
Right. So we have the East figured out already as far as what teams are coming into it. But hey, we got 2 game 7s in the West, y'all. So y'all get ready for that, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is dope, man. Great basketball, y'all. Great basketball.
Fantastic.
Okay, but now we are at the point of the show where we get into the lobby. Let's call some people up. I see we got Olatavius? I don't know.
Man, what's good, y'all? It's Alotavius, my guy.
Okay, for sure. What's going on, fam?
What's good with y'all, man? How y'all doing?
What's up, brother? Hey, man, it's the playoffs. You know what time it is when you see us.
Yes, sir. I love the playoffs. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie. It feels so great to be an OKC fan right now. We just been chilling while these teams been going to game 7s and stuff like that. We just kicking back our feet, and a team going to have to come to us as soon as Monday after they game 7. That's light work. OKC in 5. But in all seriousness, I wanted to talk to y'all about I know they're out of the playoffs now, but real quick, what do y'all think is in the future for Memphis? With their whole, because they just signed their interim head coach to be a full-time coach, if I'm correct,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So I mean, what do y'all think Memphis will have to do to not only, I guess, improve their roster, because they shooting is a huge part of what they could get better at, but also what will we need to see from John Morant?
I think you need to see a better distributor, as good as he is. I think you need to see a better one. I think you need to see a stronger Ja. And I think that with him being stronger, I think that he'll be in better health, because I think that he could take, getting pushed around a little bit. I think one of the main reasons why he hasn't been as healthy as he can be is because I don't think he's strong enough. And I'm not saying that, he's got to look like Derek Fisher or something like that, but he could stand up on about 5, maybe 10 more pounds of muscle. I don't think that's going to affect his game at all.
Right.
I think his jump shot went left this season, and I think that had a lot to do with it. I think that had a lot to do with his shoulder injury. So a lot of this comes back down to health with him. I feel like as a lead guard, his game has toned down because I think that he's trying to preserve himself. He knows that he can't play above the rim at that size for 10 years. He's not going to last. He's not. So with that being said, toning his game down a little bit more, being a better distributor, being more of a traditional lead guard, I think that'll help him.
Okay, that's
what Memphis needs to see from Ja is maybe him in a Heat jersey.
No boy.
That's what Memphis needs to see from Ja. Maybe it don't got to be the Heat. Don't got to be the Heat, but maybe just not in a Memphis jersey. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that chapter might be closed, but
might be time to move on from Ja.
Yeah. I was gonna say one more thing, and then I'm gonna let y'all get to the next person, because I've been watching Jaylen Green this entire series, and there have been so many times where I'm like, get him off the floor, please, because I'm a huge Jaylen Green fan. I was a huge fan when he was in the G League Ignite, and I just want him to do well. But
it's part of the growing pains, though, my man. This is part of this. And I know that you don't like it. I don't like it neither. But I'm a Jaylen Green guy, and this is part of the growing pains of dealing with young players. We live in such a right now society that everything has to be right now. I've said this to Ox a bunch of different times. If we go off what we see today, the Lakers in the 80s, they're not together. They're not together. They would have gotten blown up. If we go off what we see today, the Celtics with Bird, McHale, and Parrish, they ain't together today. No, they're not together. So they were bounced in the Eastern Conference Championship in 82, swept out the playoffs in 83. Can you imagine if we had that in today's game after winning the NBA championship? That team can't stay together. They can't. If knowing what we know, if what we're doing today, if we were doing that back when I was growing up, the Bulls aren't together today. So you got Scottie Pippen in 1989, who gets hurt in game one because he got bowled in the face by Bill Laimbeer, and he didn't play in game one. And you saw him the next year in game 7, where he went 1 for 10. That Bulls team ain't staying together. They're not. That Bulls team is getting blown up. But the fact that they were more patient with them, yes, the Detroit Pistons got older and they ended up working it out. But the fact that they were more patient with them and saw this thing work, that's why we have what we have. I think that if we can just be a little bit more patient with this kid, Jaylen Green, let him work it out, let him become the player that I think, and a lot of you think he's going to become, let him become that player. No, he ain't Anthony Edwards. No, he's not Devin Booker. No, he's not Anthony Edwards. He's not Devin Booker. But give him an opportunity to continue to get better. Continue to get better, because you're clearly building something in Houston. You got 6 guys on rook deals. Come on, man. You're clearly building something. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. And by the way, let's be clear about, I heard this today about Houston playing with house money. Ox, no, they ain't. We're the number 2 seed. We're the favorites. We ain't playing with no damn house money.
Yeah, no. When it's a game 7, damn that house money. You either win or you
Get that
go
shit out of
home.
here. We're the favorites. We got game 7 on our home floor. We are the favorites.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, all right, fam. Appreciate you pulling up and clicking the link, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all
No
too.
doubt. Okay, let me see who's next. We got C-Dub. C-Dub, what's up?
What's the
What
word?
up?
How you fellas feeling?
What's up, brother?
All right.
How y'all feeling, man? What up?
Yep.
It's basketball time. Playoff basketball, man. It don't get no better. My girlfriend, my wife mad at me right now, but I don't care. I don't care.
She already knew what time it. No, I don't want to hear that. She knew what time it was in February. She knew what time it was in March. She knew what time it was. We had this discussion in November. Come April, come May, you might not see me as much. So don't act like you only know. You knew what time it was.
Come on, because you know what time it is in March. That's college ball going crazy, and then playoffs right there. So
right, you when you signed up for this, you knew what time it was. I informed you of this months ago. This ain't like you just found out like, oh my God, it's the playoffs and where is he? You knew what time it was. So don't be like that.
She gonna learn today. It's all good. She gonna learn today. But I want to. I love the show. By the way, fellas, good.
Thanks,
good
brother.
Stuff. I wanted to talk about this series between the Nuggets and the Clippers. I know they pretty evenly matched. It could probably go either way. I know you guys got your guys' predictions, but I kind of selfishly want the Clippers to win this series, only because the OKC Thunder, bro. I don't see the Nuggets giving them any type of really a test to me, really. And when I think about that, I think about the Thunder, the way they play offense. You cannot hide any of your weaknesses on defense against the OKC Thunder. And I think Joker, in a way, is a weakness, and he gets to hide a lot in a lot of these games. So I'm thinking that'll be a bad matchup with the OKC Thunder. And I like Kawhi versus SGA, him trying to, at least slow him down a little bit to impact the series. I think there'll be a better matchup, just being selfish.
No, and to be honest with you, I just want to see Kawhi in the playoffs. I ain't seen him in the playoffs in 5 years.
Absolutely.
I just want to see Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. And even though I think Denver's going to win tonight, it's just been so good to see him in the playoffs and see him playing. For me, that's been the most important thing. I just love to see him playing and just get a look back of what was more than anything.
Chill, we with that being said, Chill, we did get a glimpse of Kawhi in 23, and he was busting KD ass. Oh,
He looked like he was the best player in the playoffs, Ox.
He was tearing them boys up.
He looked like he was about to be a player in the playoffs. Them 2 games that we got, or game and a half that we got from him, he looked like he was the best player in the playoffs. That's what he looked like. And here we are back again. I'm just glad to see him more than anything. I am. And to be honest with you, my man, the idea that you're being selfish about this, sometimes we got to be selfish. And I get it. I get it. I do. I 100% get it.
Yeah, I appreciate you fellas, man. I just wanted to rap about that.
Absolutely,
I'll
brother.
write that out.
Good to talk to you. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely, man.
Okay,
it's just good. It's just good to see him, Ox, more than anything. That's for me. That's what it is. And to get Kawhi Leonard in a game 7 and he's healthy and he's available. Like, we haven't heard anything about him ailing. We haven't heard anything about any injuries. We haven't heard anything about him not feeling up the stuff. We haven't heard anything like that. It's just a breath of fresh air to know that he's going to be available.
Yeah, but chill. I mean, it's still. I mean, we haven't heard nothing, but man, they needed that game for it. Kawhi needed that game for it bad. Chill.
He did.
He needed that game for it. Yeah. And not Quan, KD wasn't guarding Kawhi. You know why? Because wasn't nobody guarding Kawhi. It wasn't nobody guarding Kawhi. Because can't nobody guard Kawhi.
Nobody was covering him.
Yo, Leaf Diggy, what's up?
Listen, everything that y'all was saying about the Houston Rockets was point blank range. For them to play their way and win their way, last night was amazing. Steven Adams was probably the most unsung hero on the floor. Now I understand how y'all feel about the Warriors part, bro. Like, we think that Kuminga or Looney or somebody should play. The problem is Steve Kerr don't think that neither one of them should play. That's the problem. And you have to do something to offset the rebounding and get on the boards. The Houston Rockets, bro, they have put their stamp. They have made their mark on this series with defense and rebounding and hustle and second chance efforts, and this is how they've been winning all season. And as far as the other series go with the Clippers, I think you're absolutely right, Bobby. I think the Clippers, I would send as much help as possible when it comes to Joker. Don't let him be stationary. Don't let him get comfortable. Don't let him do anything. I think Zubac has done a tremendous job, but this is the game where Ty Lue sends the kitchen sink. This is the game, man, where he pulls out everything. This is the game where you pull out all the AKs, you pull out all the ammunition, bro. You pull out C4, you pull out grenades, you pull all that shit out, bro. You throw it all on the battlefield.
Haven't they done that though already though? I'm pretty confident that they've done that with him in terms of double teaming him, in terms of triple teaming him. They've done that with him in stretches. They have. There is no defense that Joker has not seen. There isn't one.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing in this game, you can't let up. This is game 7. You can't allow him to get no type of comfort. This needs to be 40-something minutes, 40-plus minutes of him seeing that nonstop. Just let him know it ain't going to be easy. If you're going to be pump faking a bunch of times at the free throw line, guess what? You're going to be pump faking for a reason. Jamal Murray, you can't allow him to get no real confidence in this game. You can't allow Aaron Gordon and MPJ to get no real confidence in this game. That's the keys for the Clippers to win. As far as the Eastern Conference goes, I'm going to get to that in a second. But I just want to say, anybody that's still spinning this propaganda about San Antonio getting the number 1 pick, please stop. It's not going to happen.
Why not?
It's not fun. It's not funny.
Why?
It's not funny.
You got some inside information? You got some inside information?
No.
Why not, Lee? Why not, Lee?
Because the NBA has gave this team plenty of doggy treats and doggy biscuits, bro. They gave them Wemby, they gave them De'Aaron Fox, and they didn't have to give up nothing really for it, bro. Like, stop trying to spoon feed the San Antonio Spurs. They got enough already. Please.
First and foremost, they got the number 1 pick in Wemby. When was the last time they had the number 1 pick?
Tim Duncan.
Almost 30 years ago. Stop playing, Lee. Stop acting like they just be
What do
getting
you
things
mean
on the
stop
regular.
playing?
Stop, man. Like, why are you doing that to me, yo? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, have we not heard players specifically request to go to other teams? Have we not done that? Did we not just see a couple of years ago when Kawhi Leonard said to Paul George, if you ask out, I'm coming to the Clippers? And did that not happen? Yeah, 100% happen. So now we spoon feeding the Spurs? What are we doing, Leaf? Come on, man.
Listen.
What are we doing?
Listen. The Spurs have got. My point is, the Spurs have gotten enough A lot of teams in the Western Conference is trying to do it over. The Spurs should be a solid 1-10 team next year. They should be a solid playing team next year, bro. You don't need to keep handing them doggy treats, bro. They got two top 10 picks in this draft, man, because Atlanta had messed up, or somebody had messed up. I think it was Miami or something. Yeah. So yeah, and chill. So you don't ask me again, bro. Please, I do not have 10 minutes to tell you about your favorite player on the Boston Celtics. I leave that up to the ballhead, a kid that lives in Denver in a rectangular state. He tell you about that, because I don't sit on the panel with you for 2 hours, and you're not going to sit in front of me for in front of 2 hours. I'm not going to tell you about him because you're stubborn and old. That's why. You're not going to listen to nothing that I got to say about him.
What does me being old have to do with recognizing something that's going on that's awesome? What does that have to do with anything?
Because when I try to tell you everything I tell you, it goes out the window. It goes in one end and out the other. Only thing I've ever told you about Jason Tatum, when it comes to the top 10 talent in this league, outside of Luka, who they played in the finals, we've seen what he looks like. And it's all true. I haven't told you lies.
And what does he look like, Leaf?
You've seen it. It's self-explanatory. I don't need to tell you about it. I don't got 10 minutes to tell you about it.
Do we have new information now, Leaf? Like from what you're seeing now, is this new information than what it was before?
The new information is what it was before? No. You know why?
Then forget it, Leaf. You're right. You 100% right. It's the same Jason Tatum that he was last year. It's the same Jason Tatum that he was 2 years ago. It's the same Jason Tatum that he was in the playoffs. So you know what? You know what, Leaf? You're right. I'm not. I shouldn't be ecstatic about what he's doing. You are 100% right, Leaf. I'm not going to argue with you. You're right. It's the same. He's really Scottie Pippen. That's who he really is. He's really Scottie Pippen, and I should just accept that. You're right. I got you, Leaf. 100%. I got it, brother. I do.
As far as the East go, bro, I got we know how the East is gonna turn out, bro. Like, so I'm not giving up. But I got the Clippers to win Game 7, and I got the Rockets to win Game 7.
Okay. All right, brother.
Yep. All right, Lee.
Yep. Absolutely, brother.
I don't like this person's Scottie Pippen thing like that's supposed to be a knock or something.
The Celtics got two of them. They don't got one. They got two of them, according to this dude. So, all right, that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't like that. I can't come to terms with that.
Yeah, no problem.
Real quick, who we got? We got Mod. Mod's been trying to get up for a minute. I was trying to send the link. Let's see what Mod got. What's up, Mod?
What up?
What's up? How y'all doing, man?
What up?
Chilling.
I want to talk about the NBA drafts coming up. How y'all feel about the draft? I feel like we got some studs in the draft this year.
I haven't done any homework on the draft, my man. I'd be lying to you if I said I did some homework on the draft. I have not done any homework on the draft yet. I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I'm not really up to snuff with who's good, even though I do think, like, we had a conversation yesterday about the Lakers and about what they need. And I had said that I think that their 5-man is in the draft, but they don't have no draft picks, so it doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. So they don't have any draft picks. But just like what happened with the Miami Heat with finding Khalil Ware, I've always felt like these teams, they get let off the hook by wrap themselves up with what's going on in free agency and what's going on around the league. There's a reason why these teams are built the way that they're built, because you find Jabari Smith in the draft, you find Tari in the draft, you find Amen Thompson in the draft. That's how you build your unit. And the Miami Heat, they got Bam in the draft, they got Hero in the draft, they got Khalil Ware in the draft, they got Jaime Jaquez in the draft. So I'm thinking your 5-man is in the draft, but the Lakers don't have any draft picks, so it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, that's just the Lakers being the Lakers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about a player. I'm a Duke fan. I'm not just any Duke fan. I've been a Duke fan my whole life.
Sure.
So I'm 19, and I want to talk about a player who, in my opinion, we had Cooper Flagg, but on some nights he was the best player on the floor. I think Colin Knipp was like a steal in the draft. Like,
what about this kid? What about this kid, the South Sudanian kid? I heard he's the real deal.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Come on. Gotta be honest. I see the potential. I think he has DPOY Defensive Player of the Year potential.
Wow.
I think he definitely can do that, but he's
still
raw.
Big fella?
Yeah, the big fella. He's still raw. Still need work a couple things. If it was my choice, I would tell him to stay one more year. But I understand if he.
So he's not ready yet. So he ain't ready yet in your estimation.
I don't think he's not ready yet.
Not close, Chill.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he's ready.
So what
yet,
about
but
this kid? What about this kid Knipple? What do you like about him?
Colin Knipple, when he first came in, everybody think he was a shooter. But he can shoot the ball. But I watched plenty of games by him. He can do more than shoot the ball. I don't say it all the time. He's for real. He's the real deal. Like,
What's his specialty in your estimation? Like, let's take the shooting off the table, right? Okay, so that goes without saying. What's the thing that people aren't talking about him that they should be talking about him as a player?
He can really handle the ball. Like, I was like very surprised. He can run the. I'm not saying he's a point guard, but like, he's like a point forward. If you give him the ball, he can make the right play.
So that sounds like a
I've seen
playmaker
him do it plenty of times, and our team do it plenty of times this whole season. Make the right passes.
How big is he legit?
What do you mean
legit? How big is he?
I think he could really help a team out. Like
how big is he legit? In terms of size, how big is he legit?
Con, I think Con about 6'6", maybe 6'7".
Okay, so with the ball handling that you talk about that people aren't talking about, that means that can enhance him as a playmaker, right? Yeah. That can enhance him as a playmaker. Add that to the fact that he can shoot the basketball. So it sounds like he could be a really good offensive player on the next level.
He's a hell of a defender too. Hell of a defender.
He play defense too. All right, so somebody might be getting a steal at what, 11 or 12?
I think he might fall to 20, maybe 30.
So somebody might be getting a steal late in the first round. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
For sure.
All
right, Mike. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. I like that. All right. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Chill. With this series coming up that we just talked about, the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks, I got to bring up a guy that will support the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring Stacks in the building. Let's see what Stacks got to say about Jalen Brunson in the New York Knickerbockers. Mm-hmm. Stacks, what's happening?
Yeah, what up, man? I support the Knicks, but I ain't biased though, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. So how you got this series going?
Ask y'all, bro, how do the super chats work, bro?
It's cool though, Stacks. To be honest with you, like you because we all got our biases. I'm.
Now hold on, chill. I want to ask you, how do the super chats work?
What do you mean?
So look, so you know where you look, so you know where you put your put the message in, where you put your chat.
Yeah.
In. Oh, right there to the right. It's like there's like a little box with a $sign. That's the yeah. So you just click,
I'm saying how do y'all read the super chats during the show? Because this nigga Ron is the worst, bro.
Trash. It's right.
I mean, that's however.
You know how players got a feel for the game. Like he has a terrible feel for super chats, bro. Like I sent y'all a super chat yesterday. At like 12 o'clock. About the topic y'all was on. This is before y'all spoke about the Spurs for about 45 minutes, who's not even in the playoffs. So I sent y'all a super chat about the Knicks, and it was a Knicks guy up there, so I obviously wanted his opinion.
Right.
But the guy, Ron, doesn't read my super chat until the show is at about 30 minutes until it finishes.
Well, it ain't just you. You know what I'm saying? We just have a super chat segment. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, man, that's crazy.
That's
no, it's cool. I'm gonna just save my super chats for Saturday. And what's your other day?
Thursday and Saturday.
I'm saying my super chats for Saturday and Thursdays now. That's it, bro.
No doubt, Stack. So definitely Ron is the dude that if I scored 3 times in a row, he won't get me the ball again.
Yeah, bro. He like Russell Westbrook, bro. He like Russell Westbrook when it comes to super chats, bro. He has no feel for it. Like
get
no
this
feel.
dude the pill. What you doing?
Yeah, bro. He has no feel. Yeah, bro.
Get him the
It's relevant to the topic. Like read the super chat, Ron. What the hell, bro? It's relevant to the topic.
I'm calling him we got 5 minutes left. I'm calling him in 6 minutes. I just let him know.
But I asked y'all yesterday, Chill and Ox, do y'all think it would be a difference in the series if there was a switch of the 2 head coaches?
Yes.
2 head coaches between what you mean? Joe Mazzulla and Tibbs?
And yes.
Yeah.
I do think it would be a difference.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some type of switch.
How much? Like, what's the series? What's the result? I think.
Well, number one, Tibbs wouldn't use nearly as many of those guys on the
exactly.
Celtics.
Yep.
He wouldn't use nearly as
Hauser?
No. Yeah. No run for him.
No run. Cornette? I don't know. Maybe, but I doubt it.
Precious ain't playing, so Cornette ain't playing either. No.
Yeah, exactly.
No burn for him. Pritchard, he getting Cameron Payne run. Like he might get 10 minutes, But Joe Mazzulla, he gonna dig in that bench with the Knicks.
Yeah,
he gonna find out what the deal is with them.
I don't know if the Knicks will beat them if they switch coaches. I still don't know, but what y'all think it would be? I don't know.
I think that the way Tibbs uses his guys as opposed to the way Mazzulla uses his guys, I think it would be a different series. I think he would take Brunson off the ball a little bit more. I think he'd put Cat on the ball, and I think it'd be a little bit more ball movement. I think it'd be a more competitive series, and it would be just off the strength that Tibbs wouldn't use as many of his guys, because I think they're gonna wear the Knicks down with Mazzulla using all of the guys that he's gonna use, and Tibbs not using as many guys as he used. I think that's gonna be the difference in the series.
Yeah, like I think the Knicks are cooked, bro. Like the coaching is that much of a difference, bro. Like I think the Knicks are cooked. If they so happen to win this series or any games, bro, it's gonna be the players have to play out of their minds, bro.
See,
I don't give him no credit for no wins they get. That's how I feel about him, bro.
That part right there is the part that I got a problem with. Like, in order for us to win, like OG got to go off. Like, why do we have to go off in order for us to have a chance to win? Really? So with that being said,
he that best player.
He
could, but we have no system. He don't know when he getting the ball.
I was about to ask you that, Stacks. So if you lose, are we out on Tibbs or what's the deal?
I've been out on him, bro. So I don't know because he best friends with the general manager. So there's a whole bunch of politics going on.
I don't care about this friend shit, yo. This is business, man.
Yeah.
I don't care about this friend shit. No, I don't care about that.
I think Doman might have to step in, which I think would be good for the first time ever. But yeah, he might have to step in. I don't know, man. Because I definitely think he should be gone.
If Tibbs is fired, Dan Hurley. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh shit! Oh,
it's to the point where you got some Knicks fans who wanted the Knicks to lose in the first round so he could get fired. They feel like that's the only way he's getting fired.
Word, that's what's going on up there.
Yeah,
damn,
it's nasty, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Stacks. You know what's going on, yes, sir.
All right, sir. No, just saying. All right.
All right, B.
Yep, man. Let me lock back in.
Focus, big fella.
That was hilarious. I'm like, I got to call Ron in 5 minutes. Let him know he is Russell Westbrook.
Get Ron off the pill. Ron, he scored 3 straight trips. Get him the pill. What are you doing?
Man. Speaking of super chats, Eric Espinoza says, "Hey fellas, are y'all planning to do a stream during this year's lottery draft?"
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not the one to ask. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what we're doing. Maybe send that super chat on Monday, and maybe Ron can fill you in on that. He'll let you know.
We will talk about it on the panel, though. We will talk about it on the panel.
Definitely. 100%. So I don't know. Maybe if you and Fluent are doing anything, or if you're doing anything on your channel or anything like that. I mean,
I don't know what day the draft lottery is. If it's on a Tuesday night, then we will be doing a stream. That's
okay. Well, I know. Yesterday was Friday, and somebody was up there saying it's going to be in 10 days. So 10 days. So
probably
Friday,
next Monday or Tuesday. So next Monday or next Tuesday.
The 12th? What's the 12th? The 12th is a what?
Today is the 3rd, so next Saturday is the 10th. So the 12th is next Monday.
Monday. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, man. I don't know. Y'all send that super chat through on Monday. Ask Ron to let you know, and probably do something. I'm not sure. We got time for one more. Let me see who. Let me see. MJ, what's up?
What up?
Yo, what's good? Y'all got me?
Yeah. What up?
Yeah.
Hey, chill, man. It's been a pain watching Jaylen, boy. Chill. I know them growing pains. I understand it for a young guy. I'm trying to stay patient. Chill. I'm trying, but it's been tough, man. It's been tough sometimes.
This is part of it. This is why you pop champagne at the end of the year. This is why you crying because of times like this. Hang in there, B. Hang in there, yo. Because this kid, I think, will be better. I do. I think this kid will be better. This is the first time that this is the second year he's actually in structure. Yeah. This is the second year that he's actually been in some structure. Because when he was with Steven Silas, there was no structure. They had no idea what they were doing over there. He actually has some structure now. And with him having some structure, I think he's gonna continue to improve, man. I do. But before you go, I just got a quick question for you. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
22.
Man, I wish you'd have, because I see your avatar. I wish you'd have been around when Jordan was playing. That guy was fantastic, yo. He was incredible. Man.
Chill, I'm a big Hakeem fan, chill. I'm a big Hakeem fan.
I wish you would have been around when that dude was playing. That dude was incredible. I promise you. Like what you see from Joker and what you see from Giannis, what you see from all of these, your eyes would have been like this watching Olajuwon. He was incredible, man. That dude was amazing. No doubt about it.
Yep. One last thing to say.
Go ahead.
Chill, we gotta get Ron off those pina coladas. Chill, he been spending too much time in Cancun, man. He don't want to read super chats. He don't care about the chat no more. Like I don't know.
What you mean he don't care about the chat?
No, he don't care about us.
We can't go too far. Y'all already know.
He don't care about us. He don't care about us, man.
What he the one who started letting people know the chat clear. He been advocating for the chat from the beginning.
He's always been a chat guy. Always been a chat
now,
guy.
If you're gonna tell the truth, we could go ahead and get on Ron, but I can't let you lie on, bro.
No, he always been down with the chat. We ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. Ron has always been down. He's always been down with the chat. Always.
But all right, though, MJ, appreciate you clicking the link.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother.
I know we are at the end of the time, but I do gotta bring this guy up because he was the first to click the link and he been here for too much time. I can't in good faith. I can't let my man Classic not get on stage. What up, Classic?
Yo, what up, guys?
What up?
Yeah, man, real quick. For one, chill. I'm gonna have to remove your Tatum card, man. I don't like how you be defending him, and then talking about so now he the Scottie Pippen. That what's wrong with that? Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players of all time, and honestly, I think Tatum's an updated version of Scottie Pippen, which is scary.
First of all,
Scottie Pippen will take the ball from Jason Tatum.
First of all, I think he's better. Number two, you know how long I've been talking to that dude? Like, there's no talking to him. Like, Leaf has already got his mind made up about Jason Tatum. They won it last year, and they won it last year. And when I tell you, Classic, I climbed all over his ass.
But yeah, what you gotta do, you gotta match their energy, man. You gotta stop like trying to explain logic to them. You gotta be, like you said, insufferable. Jason Tatum is the best player in the league, and that's how you should be talking about him.
Wait till the summer.
It shouldn't be no sacrificing.
That's all I gotta say, Classic. Let them dudes win the NBA championship, and he do what I'm gonna be impossible to deal with this summer. Impossible.
Yeah. And I do want the Clippers to win tonight, but I mean, after seeing the game last night, and I try to tell y'all, like, I think like months ago, man, spacing is overrated. Like you said, Alex, rebounding is the most important part of the game. And what we've seen from Rudy Gobert and Steven Adams, I think this small ball might be over with, man. I think we're starting to get back into having a real big that can get rebounds. And like I think one of the reasons Fred VanVleet is shooting better is because of Steven Adams. Like when you got somebody that can get offensive rebounds, I think that takes pressure off you, and it encourages you to shoot more with less pressure. And I think Jaylen Green is gonna have a great game 7, and I think the Warriors are gonna get out of here because that small ball is outdated. It don't work no more.
It might be the end of it. Maybe it might be the end of it, brother. Good to talk to you, Classic.
All right, Classic.
Good to talk to you guys, man. You guys have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Man,
that was clear. I told her to chill out. That was clear. I'm sorry, guys. That was the suits, and she on our case right now. So we gotta go.
I'm saying, yo, Cheerio, relax. We getting out of here. It's Saturday. Cheerio. Yeah. Let me rock an extra 5 minutes, Cheerio. Chill. Before we do get out of here, do you got anything? Any takes, anything you might have forgot this week or slipped your mind that you wanted to say about anything going on as far as playoff, basketball related, anything?
Nothing really, man. I think we covered everything.
Okay.
I'm still standing on my logic. You know, Jason Tatum is about to be what I think he's about to be. That's all I got to say about Jason Tatum. He's about to be what I always thought he was going to be. There we have it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that is a better version of Tracy McGrady.
I always thought that. Right. I always thought that he was everything that Tracy McGrady should have been. Always.
Okay, that's it. Everything T-Mac should have been. Right. Yep. Well, all right, y'all. That's the show. Chill.
You guys be careful out here. The summertime's coming up, but we got playoff basketball. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. If you're ever in the Portland area and you have too much to drink, hey, hit my man. He'll make sure that you get home. He got you. We will see you guys soon, but until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man.
No doubt. Yes, all right, y'all, man. Go outside. Get outside and enjoy some of this sunshine.
Call your mother. Don't forget to call your mother. Sure. Call your mother.
No doubt. Y'all make sure to get out there and enjoy some of this sunshine, y'all. It's beautiful out there. Enjoy yourself. Drink some water, man. Never drink or drive. We'll catch up with y'all on Monday on the panel. We'll be back with Chill on Thursday and again on Saturday. Y'all know where to find us. Peace out.
Later.